Here's their forecast. Abundant sunshine and nice. Total picture of a whole sun. And the whole sky covered in white. How can the whole sky be covered when they show a picture of abundant sunshine? What a joke. These weathermen should be... They're not necessary anymore. Just put a robot there. We don't need them. You know, just like McDonald's, they're replacing the workers with robots. You know, same thing with the weather people. We don't need them. They can't tell the truth. They can't be accurate, just like the media. Associated Press own survey on trust in the media came up with only 6% of the people have trust in the media. So that number, you know, if people woke up, would be much lower for the weathermen, because they're lying through their teeth. Forget about the mainstream news. These weathermen are even worse. They're worthless. They're there to put a smile on and distract you from what's really going on. Abundant sunshine, and there's a total layer of white that just appeared. What a joke. What a joke. So tomorrow's going to be clear too, so I guess that means another layer of white. You know, now we have to translate the weather forecasts because the weather people can't seem to handle it. Reading their script of what they, you know, they get from Raytheon. You know, these weather people aren't doing actual meteorology. They're just reading what's given to them. So if you know, you have no honesty in your field, you're worthless and you're a liar. You know, how can you do that every day? But they seem to put on a smile and do it every day. And they get all kinds of rewards. They get their pictures on billboards and on the side of buses, and oh, come see the weather with so-and-so, and you know, you're liars. You're filthy, dirty liars. Filthy, dirty liars. So, you know, like I said, go on Twitter. Your favorite weatherman is likely on Twitter. And you can send them a nice little message letting them know what you think of them. And, you know, how they got the gumption to go to work every day and put on that smile and lie to the good people out in the public. But they seem to do it. Must be good rewards or good paychecks or something. So, you know, weather people are one of the lowest forms on this planet at this point. So, fake as can be. Alright. Look at how hazed out this airplane is. This sky was just blue before. There literally has not been any trails. And now the whole sky is like white. You can see there's a couple clouds. So there should be nothing else. The whole sky just turned to a layer of white. Here's another little piece of cloud over here. And that's it. The rest should be blue. It is white as can be. White as can be. See if we can get near the sun. It is there's another cloud back there. So the rest of everything up here should be blue. This is not blue. And that means there's heavy manipulation going on here. You can see, my God, you can see what's going on through there. Heavy manipulation. Start looking around your neighborhoods, you're going to notice there's towers upon towers, every different style of tower, every different attachment on these towers, balloons and bubbles and drum looking items. You know, it's not all for cell phones. Come on, people. See if we can get near the green of the tree to see how white it is behind it. It's just a layer that moved in here. I was just out an hour and a half ago and the sky was blue. My God, the whole thing should be blue, as you could tell from those little few clouds that were there. And this is a total layer that they moved in. It's supposed to be clear. The prediction is clear today. Clear today. That's the forecast, is clear. There's a total layer of white. There's a plane flying up there. It's so white you're not going to see the plane. These weathermen and meteorologists are such shills that they'll report this stuff. They'll change the forecast the night before. You know, it is such a joke. I apologize for the lawn people. This is just unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. The whole sky is white. Let's see if we can find a real cloud somewhere. I see one. I see it was that same cloud. One cloud. You can see it. One cloud out there. And the whole sky is just given a layer of white. There's another one way back there. So that's all that should be in the sky. There should be nothing else in the sky. Everything else is artificial. It says it's clear. Yeah, it's clear there's no clouds, but there's a whole layer up there of white. That's manipulated aerosols. You know, I posted the paper from Dr. David Keith of Harvard, Photophoretic Levitation and Geoengineering Aerosols. And, you know, the particles they put up there are electrostatic, and they're responsive to frequency. So once you hit these particles with frequency, or you create a static layer up there, you know, you can hold whatever you want up there. You can maneuver whatever you want up there. That's why you see these cloud layers moving in different directions at the same time. You know, once you got metals up there, it's responsive, it's maneuverable. This is just utterly amazing. The whole sky is white with two little clouds in it. The whole thing should be blue. Nothing should be behind it. The weathermen predicted clear. They didn't predict a whole layer covering the sky, you know. So these weathermen are such sellouts. They're on Twitter posting their little cutesy pictures and their little deceptive pictures. They post sun halos and all kinds of ridiculous stuff, trying to condition people to think it's normal. And luckily there's some good people on Twitter that send it right back to them and tell them they're a shill. So definitely send a message to your local weatherman. Say, we know you're a shill, and no one appreciates, you know, your stupid assertions. You know, this is what time is it? 1 o'clock today? This is the middle of the day, and the sky should be blue. This is just totally ridiculous. If you look close, you can kind of see. I can see frequencies going on right through here. I don't know if you can see it, but you'll start noticing the even chop lines in the clouds. You know, very evenly spaced. So they totally moved this in. Definitely working as a sun filter. You know, you're receiving diffused sunlight, which means the light's being scattered. It's not the full strength of the sun, which is why many people have vitamin D deficiencies, because even when you do get sun now, you're not getting the full effect of the sun. You're getting diffused sunlight, which is filtered sunlight. So, you know, they said the ozone layer is pretty much shot, and they're using this to replace the ozone, or to block some of the light coming in, because we're getting different UV levels we shouldn't be receiving. But that's the sacrifice in order to take control of the weather. Something's going to have to get sacrificed. It's the trade-off. And we're the collateral damage. So I'm not sure anyone really cares about that, as you can see. With all the other stuff going on, the GMOs, the nuclear, all around the country that's contaminating things and leaking, you know, there's no big concern for it. Obama hasn't spoke once. There's about 5 nuclear issues around the country. Obama spoke not a bit on it. The other day he was dancing with Star Wars characters celebrating Star Wars Day. He could give 2 damns about it. You got the St. Louis Westlake landfill disaster. They got a fire burning the landfill, making its way to a nuclear storage area where they stored waste from World War II underground illegally. So once this fire reaches that nuclear waste, it's like a dirty bomb. You know, you got Turkey Point in Florida leaking into the Biscayne Bay. You got New York, Indian Point leaking. New Mexico, you got the Hanford facility, you know, it's all over the place. These facilities are aging. They should have been retired, and they haven't been retired. They've been extended just to save money. So, not one word from Obama. He's worried about who can use what bathroom. Meanwhile, there's actual, you know, emergency situations going on. Canada's got numerous fires going off right now, destroying entire cities. So climate change is a national security threat, but destroying entire cities isn't. We can't go up there and help Canada and involve the military. You know, you might as well drop a bomb on a city if you're gonna say the fire burnt down the entire city. That's the same as a bomb hitting a city. So the military won't get involved. They're just letting this happen. That's totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. That should be shut down. Should be an international response, and the fire should be put out. You want to talk about climate change, you know, these fires are releasing heat into the atmosphere. They release soot into the atmosphere, and that dark soot travels around the planet, ends up falling onto the ice cap areas, and makes the ice less reflective, and then it absorbs heat, and the ice caps melt faster. So there's no big priority to put out these wildfires. It's amazing. They want to tell you, you know, California, they're going to start taxing them by the mile. Every mile they drive, you know, because of climate change and stuff along the environment. But wildfires can burn out of control and do what they need to do. This way people get displaced, and you could be more collateral damage. Collateral damage seems to be the name of the game here. I've never seen the sky just turn totally white without plane trails everywhere. That lets you know there's so much aerosol up there. At this point, they can really just assemble it. They can really just assemble it and start bringing it all together. They don't need to spray all day long. They need to maintain the layer, but there's so much up there, they can really just assemble it and disassemble it. My God, there's so much stuff up there. It's amazing. This is clear. The weather forecast says clear. What a joke. What a joke. And you can see, I can see more ripples running through out here. You gotta look close, but you know, the sky is blasted white. This is one of the most amazing things I've seen. There should be no clouds. The few little clouds we saw took off, and now the sky should just be blue. This is an artificial layer, totally fabricated, and people just go about their day, going to this doctor and to that doctor and saying my mother's sick, my father's sick, and blah blah blah. They really don't care if it means they have to lift a finger. This guy above us here, you can see the planes are in such a haze flying. It's outrageous. Oh, we got another plane way up there. He's got no trail. So where did all of this cirrus come from if there's no contrails being laid? What a joke. My God.